Previously on Chained Soldier. It's an unconventional world where the boys belong to the kitchen while the girls possess cool powers called peaches. This ultimately makes up the all-female army system set up to fight devastating Mato monsters that threaten the modern world. And then we have Yuki, a loser who gets sucked into Mato but finds favor from the 7th Division's commander, Kyouka. Yuki becomes an important asset in battle, but also finds his purpose in the female dressing room. While he tries to dissect the voluminous bras and underwear shoved at his face, he wishes to become the greatest hero alive. Now, the 7th and 6th Division girls find themselves in a competition to measure their strengths, and the first battle lies between the runaway little sister and her big, ugly sister. Before the match begins, we get a cultured time loop from the female dresser, where a member of the opposing team, Sleepy Sahara, with magnificent frontal lobes, reveals that Yachicho never trained for the fight. The obnoxious big sister is so confident that her skills will send Himari crying to the supermart. Ironically, Yachicho receives the first blow in the fight, making her rewind time to 5 seconds back and reminisce what the mother flippers just happened. This time, she unveils a Mato gun before the attack hits her, so baby girl Himari changes her battle strategy to an air strike. Just when Yachicho thinks she's figured out her little sister's plan, Himari's attack hits her with a speed run before she gets the opportunity to freeze time. Again, Yachicho rewinds time and freezes at 5 seconds before Himari's attack hits her, so she can blast her balls while in thin air. Unfortunately, Himari goes out of her gun range again and proceeds with another attack strategy. Himari keeps playing the hide-and-seek game, and yet again, her desire to win fuels the passion needed for Yuki to run faster. The fight gets so intense that the spectators even wonder how underdog Himari lasted this long. Himari finally reveals that their strategy is to weaken Yachicho by making her use her ability continuously, since it requires a shit ton of strength to manipulate time. Having figured out her strategy, Yachicho decides to use the ultimate trump card, called Prime Time, for 10 seconds to close her range. Unfortunately, this hits Himari, and she's knocked down with her pet. An ugly smile is plastered across Yachicho's face, while she gives that compulsory villain speech of how she's the best of the best, and not Naruto. For a second there, the words were getting to Himari's failure ass, until Yuki uses Asta's favorite words. Turns out, the speech was a distraction, and Yuki could clearly see that implementing Primetime's skill had weakened Yachicho to the bones. Himari's spirit is up again. She goes for the final strike, using Yuki's reverse transformation flare as a decoy, so she lands the final strike from under Yachicho's skirt. Always knew the trump card was fake, though. Himari's win is announced with resonating laughter, while Gani heals all participants who got injured within her barrier. Yachicho swallows her gut-wrenching pride to invite Himari back into their family home, because she's stronger, and honestly, it's the audacity for me. Good thing Himari ignores her flatly, and she's left to sulk on the field. Every good fight must come with Yuki's reward, and this time around, he gets lots of tongue action from Himari. She smittens him so badly that any goose would believe she's got a thing for him, but it's really just the condition for using Kyouka's ability. While Himari gives Yuki mouth-gliding thanks for helping her win, Shushu catches a glimpse of what she's been missing out on. If you ask me about the second leg of the fight, I'd say it's between two hand-to-hand competitors, Sahara and Shushu. But if you ask me on a deeper level, I'd say it feels more like a fight between monster-level mummy knockers. Now that Shushu has gotten a sneak peek of what the other girlies are enjoying, safe to say, she will be expecting a slave appreciation. Sahara kicks off the fight with a ferocious kick, and then Shushu counters with a slam that keeps her out of balance. From then on, the girls go blow for blow and aura for aura, till Sahara gives up and calls first dibs on ability use. Shushu uses Shift to become ultra big, while Sahara uses Mad Sheep, an ability that boosts her strength for a certain period, but comes with a compulsory 3-minute cooldown. In the battle of the physical titties, physical strength, Sahara comes on top, taking advantage of Shushu's slow movements due to her size. With the motto, "Go big or go home," Shushu makes a comeback move by shoving her twin milkers into Sahara's figure in her mega size. This leaves her unconscious, and just when Shushu thinks she's won a trophy kits from Yuki, Sahara's secret weapon is revealed. Turns out that because of her sleep fetish and tendency to fall asleep at any point, her unconscious self has heightened killer instincts that take control of her body. The fight ends swiftly, with Sahara as the winner. I know the creators got this idea from Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, but okay. Shushu returns to her room with watery eyes, having embarrassed herself in front of Yuki. Shockingly, he knocks at her door the next minute to give her a post-failure speech, saying it's not the end of the world yet. Shushu responds to this with a kiss and shows him the scar on her melons from the fight. Meanwhile, the third leg, featuring the duel between commanders, is about to begin on the field. Nei uses her powers to scan the area for abnormal activity, but ends up picking Shuki spies from close range. Now that their position has been given away, the Shukis begin their attack with a Shuki-possessed humanoid, Reirin, as their leader. Reirin destroys Gina's impenetrable barrier in one go. Now this reminds me of that Titanic story about the unsinkable ship. Tenka takes the Defense Force's non-combatants, Nei and Gina, to a secure location so the rest can handle the new threat. Yuki pulls a move he's never done before, and that is a double transformation under Kyouka and Himari's copied ability. His new ability allows him to unleash a new form and a howling blast that wipes out a large mass of the Shuki colony. Just then, my favorite waifu returns to the battlefield to give us something much better than a commander's exhibition match. Tenka swaps positions with a weakened Yachicho, who previously went head-to-head with Reirin. Her arrival to the battlefield screams devastating, raw girl power. And I'm not talking about Powerpuff Girls. From Reirin's villain speech, it is revealed that he's only after the commanders of the Defense Force. He releases the first beam of destruction at Tenka, but she swiftly evades it and shoves a kick in the place that hurts the most. Reirin's attack rains heavily on Tenka's space, which she easily overcomes due to Peach's portal ability, till she eventually opens a portal to a wormhole that swallows his pathetic ass completely. The girls manage to subdue the enemy and win the fight, but from Nei's scan of the area, turns out the spectating Shuki generals fled the scene. Yuki receives Tenka's admiration, as well as a new fangirl, Gina. Yachicho and Himari also have small talk from their little teamwork during the fight. The 6th Division girlies return home, and the next scene we get is Yuki appreciation galore. For some reason, this anime creator keeps shoving underwear in my face, and there's only so much a bot like me can take. Kyouka and Himari get into action, pulling Yuka to the hot spring for a bath as a condition for using him as a slave. double the master, double the charm. But that also means quadruple the bouncing melons for Yuki. Ooh. The next day, it's the 7th Division's turn to visit the 6th Division's dorm. While the commanders have chit-chat, Himari takes a walk while Yuki sets himself up as nanny boy. Everything in the 6th dorm looked pretty neat until he entered the laundry and found a huge pile of underwear, further proving my theory from earlier. Thankfully, our soldier gets things done in one piece and is off to return Yachicho's laundry. He enters and finds out that Yachicho's room is a glorified museum of her baby sister, Himari. Turns out all that smack talk about her sister being the pinnacle of disappointment was Yachicho being a proper tsundere. Yuki bolts out of the room faster than the flash, only to end up tangled in another weird event. And by that, I mean he gets wrapped up between Sleepy Sahara's strong legs without being able to pull out for a strong 3 minutes. We lost a soldier today. Gone too soon, bro. Later on, we see what Yachicho's training routine is like. Beyond all the smack talk, she's actually a gym bro who does pretty well at academics, which is everything Himari wishes to be. Sahara explains a popular theory in Mato, where every girl's peaches is a reflection of her nature and knowledge. Himari's ability to copy other abilities stemmed from her admiration and wanting to be like Yachicho, while Yachi's ability to manipulate time stemmed from her desire to spend time with her little sister. In another region of Mato, the Shuki-possessed generals who fled the scene, Joryu the Golden Girl and Shikoku, are seen with Reirin. Turns out he was secretly rescued by them before Tenka's wormhole sucked his pathetic ass. Furthermore, the aim of their recent attack was a test run to assess a commander's strength before launching their perfect plan. Back to the commander's chit-chat. Their conversation shifts from the threat at hand to something rather unlikely. Tenka demands Yuki for herself, and the 6th Division from Kyouka. She wishes to spice up her personal life, and Yuki seems to be the perfect paprika. She's in need of a pet, and she's willing to endorse Kyouka to become the next Supreme Commander in exchange for Yuki the Bingo. She rejects the offer, also declaring the position for the next Supreme will be a walk in the park for her without Tenka's help. Later that evening, Yuki gets a sneaky visit from Tenka. Turns out my favorite waifu in this show has a crush on him, and I might just X myself after this recap. Tenka comes out of her shell and asks Yuki to be her boyfriend and not a pet. While she caresses her rubber tube donkeys on his body, she expresses how much affection she has for him. To Tenka, he's a prestigious housekeeping nanny, and compared to the other women in the defense force, she's not under a condition to satisfy Yuki as a slave. She wraps Yuki like a dominating alpha female when Shushu walks in on the scene. Tenka's actions cause a growl in the heart of the 7th Division women, who are definitely not having it. The next day, they work on new strategies to handle Shukis. The battle plan is simply for Kyouka to lend Yuki in slave form to other riders. Nei goes first, and when she hops on, Yuki's chain form retransforms to a different creature. For emphasis, Nei is not hopping on Yuki's joystick. Nei being his rider, again, not riding his joystick, Yuki's attributes become less in strength and speed, but heightened senses in his ears and eyes that see through ladies' undergarments. She hops off, and as a condition for using Kyouka's ability, she subconsciously kisses Yuki on the cheeks. Guess she's been living on a rock and wasn't aware of the new changes. Team tryouts aren't over if Shushu doesn't get a go at riding Yuki. Again, not on his joystick. However, he transforms into a massive ball of rock that's insanely strong, yet slow. And he can't grow as big as Shushu can. So he ends up spitting on his face and treating his injuries as the condition for Kyouka's ability. Later on, Yuki escorts Nei to school in the modern world, curious as to why such a young child joined the defense force. Turns out, her parents have been missing since a Mato invasion, and her Peach's ability is a reflection of her searching for them. After a meeting between commanders, Tenka returns home to baby Yuki up with some teases, and just when Kyouka is about to interfere, the emergency alarm blares, signaling a Shuki invasion. As the girls head into battle, it's the first time we see Kyouka exert dominance over Yuki, calling him her slave over all the roaches hovering over him. While it all plays out, it's revealed that both commanders, Tenka and the Shuki generals, have devious plans for Yuki. What could that plan be? Find out in part 3, weebs. Hope you enjoyed this recap as much as I did. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more content like this. Later, nerds.